All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a super common financial milestone, that $5,000 a month paycheck, and turning it into a clear, step-by-step plan to build an awesome life. Let's do this. So let's just imagine for a second, you're 26 years old and you're bringing in a solid $5,000 a month after taxes. I mean, that's a fantastic spot to be in, right? But it also brings up this huge question. What do you actually do with that money to make it work for you? Not just now, but for the long haul. Because, $5,000 isn't just a salary. It's an opportunity, it's the raw material for building a really comfortable life right now, and a truly secure future. And the best part? There's a surprisingly simple framework that can help you do exactly that. And that framework is the 50-30-20 rule. Now, you've probably heard of it before, but today we're gonna make it real. We're gonna make it concrete. This is our blueprint for turning that $5,000 from just a number on a paycheck into a smart, powerful plan for your life. So what is it, really? Well, it's actually an elegantly simple way to think about your money. You just take your income, the money you actually get to keep, and you split it 3 ways. 50%, the biggest chunk, goes to your absolute needs. 30% is for your wants, and a really crucial 20% gets dedicated to savings and actually building your wealth. Looking at it like this really shows you the balance we're aiming for. See that 50% for needs? That's your foundation, your stability. The 30% for wants? That's what makes life fun and enjoyable today. And that 20% for savings? Well, that's your ticket to future freedom. It's a plan that takes care of the you right now and the you of tomorrow. Okay, so let's put some actual dollars to those percentages, because that's when it gets real. On a $5,000 monthly income, the math is super easy. That's $2,500 for needs, $1,500 for wants, and a seriously powerful $1,000 every single month for savings and wealth. Seeing it broken down like that really makes it feel doable, right? So first up, let's tackle that foundational piece of the pie, your needs. This is that 50% or your $2,500 that covers the absolute non-negotiables. Getting this part right is the bedrock of this entire plan. Everything else is built on top of this. So here's a rough idea of how that $2,500 could break down. Now, housing is the big one. And here's a pro tip. Really try to keep it under 30% of your total income. Yeah, that might mean getting a roommate or living a little further out, but trust me, it's a huge lever you can pull to free up cash for your future. The rest of this bucket covers utilities, groceries, and those minimum debt payments. And don't worry, we'll talk about crushing that debt later. All right, let's talk about the fun part. The 30%, or that $1,500, that goes toward your wants. This is your lifestyle money. This plan is absolutely not about depriving yourself. It's about enjoying your life. The key is just doing it smartly without accidentally wrecking your future goals. This bucket is for pretty much everything else. Eating out, your Netflix subscription, shopping, and even saving up for that big vacation. Now, one thing to really keep an eye on, as the source points out, is dining out. That can be a total budget killer if you're not paying attention. But look at this. There's totally room for a great social life and a travel fund. And here is a fantastic, super actionable tip to keep that wants category from getting out of control. It's called the 30-day rule. For any big, non-essential thing you want to buy, just wait 30 days. Put it on a list. If you still want it just as bad after a month, go for it. Seriously, this one little trick is an amazing defense against that impulse spending that can blow up your whole budget. Okay, now we get to what I think is the most critical part of this whole thing. That 20%, that $1,000 a month that is dedicated to building your future. At 26, this is where the real magic happens, because your single biggest asset right now isn't your money, it's your time. And this is exactly how you put that time to work for you. So where does that $1,000 actually go? Well, it's not just sitting in one savings account, it's a multi-pronged attack. Part of it builds up your emergency fund. A huge chunk, the biggest one, goes toward retirement. Some goes into other investments, and another piece is used to accelerate your high-interest debt payments. The absolute key here is to automate it. Set up the transfers to happen the day you get paid. You have to pay yourself first. So, we've got the framework, we've got the numbers. Now, let's talk about the action plan. This is the strategy, the how-to, for putting that savings to work to build real, actual wealth, starting today. This is where we get into the 2 big ideas that make this whole system click. The absolute first priority, before anything else, is building what the source calls your financial firewall. Think of it like a safety net for your money. Before you get all aggressive with investing, you need to build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. For you, that's probably around 15 grand. This firewall is what protects your future investments from, life's little surprises.
And at the same time, you're attacking any of that nasty high-interest debt, like credit cards.
Okay, once that firewall is built and solid, it's time to fire up the growth engine. And step one here is an absolute non-negotiable. You have to contribute enough to your 401k to get the full employer match. Anything less is just leaving free money on the table. After you've done that, you open and start funding a Roth IRA, which is just an incredible tool for tax-free growth when you retire.
Let's just pause on that 401k match for a second. If your company matches your contributions dollar for dollar, that is an immediate, guaranteed 100% return on your money. 100%? You can't find that anywhere else. That's why it's pretty much the single best investment you can possibly make. It is literally free money. Don't walk away from it. And look, remember that this whole thing is a flexible blueprint, not some rigid prison you have to live in. You've got to stay flexible. Check in on your spending every month. Hey, maybe your rent is a little higher, so you have to trim your wants a bit. That's okay. The percentages are just a guide. The real magic is consistently hitting that $1,000 savings goal and making smart adjustments along the way, like saving at least half of every single raise you get from here on out. Because at the end of the day, your financial future isn't something that just happens to you. It's a story, and you are the one writing it, month by month, with every single paycheck. You've got the blueprint now. The only question left is, what's this month's chapter going to be?